Hey guys, Brad with Family Handyman. Every small engine needs maintenance to keep it performing at its best. So the three main items we're going to look at are the air filter, the spark plug, and the oil. For all of this stuff, always check your owner's manual because it's going to give you good information as to how often you have to check these things and replace or clean or whatever. So we're going to start with the air filter, and on this mower, it's just this little plastic housing, but it's always going to be something attached to the carburetor. And some of them have a screw at the top that you have to remove. This one's just a couple little tabs that we press down, and that'll show you the air filter element. So this filter hasn't been replaced in a while. You can see there's a lot of dirt and junk in between the pleats of the filter. And so we need to replace that. And also in the cover, there's a foam filter element that catches some of the bigger stuff. And you can see this is all full of grass and everything from the air intake. So we'll get the big chunks off and then take it over to the sink and clean it out and let it dry. All right, so we've got the foam element clean. We'll stick that back in the cover, and we've got our new pleated filter, and that goes in the housing just like so. And then we pop our cover back on, and that's it. That's the whole job. Now, some people would try to clean this old pleated filter, and sure, if you're in a pinch, you don't have a new one, and you're trying to get a job done, you could take an air compressor to this thing and clean out some of the dirt and get by for a little while. But it's always going to be best just to regularly replace these things. So next we're going to check the spark plug. And that's one of the most important elements, as that's what ignites the fuel-air mixture inside the cylinder and makes the engine run. They're typically located up at the front here. There's usually a rubber or plastic boot at the top, and there's a thick cable that runs off of that. And you'll need to remove that boot to access the spark plug. So I'm going to take the boot off. It comes off pretty easily, and then I just need to get it out of the way so that I can access the spark plug with a socket. Now we'll slip the socket on the plug. And get it started. After it's loose, then you can finish turning it out by hand. So there's our old plug. This one's got a lot of black deposits on it, and so it definitely needs to be replaced. Some people will clean the spark plugs instead of replacing, and sure, yeah, you can do that if you're in a pinch. You don't have a store close by to get a new one, but generally you should just replace it. So here we've got our new plug. And you can see the numbers on the plugs match, so we got the right plug. And we used to have to do more with checking the gap on the spark plug to make sure that was correct. But most of these plugs are going to come pre-gapped, so it's really not necessary to do this anymore for the most part. So there's our new plug, and we'll thread that into the cylinder. And we'll get it to the point where it's just finger tight, and then put the socket on it and tighten it about another quarter of a turn just to flatten out the washer that's on there. And we'll stick the boot back on, and that's it. So lastly, we're going to change the oil on this lawnmower. Now, changing the oil is important because old oil has contaminants in it, such as moisture, gasoline, and acids that can all corrode the engine's interior parts. And so the first thing that we're going to do, though, is take the boot off the spark plug. And we do that so that there's absolutely no chance that when we tip the mower up to drain the oil, that it'll accidentally start. So before we tip the mower up to drain the oil out, we want to run it for a while so that the gas is low enough in the tank. That way it won't run out while we're draining the oil. So we'll pop out the dipstick, and we'll just tip the lawnmower over all the way until the oil stops draining. So draining all the oil out of there just takes a minute, and as soon as it stops dripping, then you can tip it back up. So now we're ready to put oil back in, and you just got to make sure that you have the right oil, which your owner's manual will give you specifications for what to use for different temperatures and such. So this is SAE 30, and we're going to pop a funnel in here, and most engines like this are going to take about 18 to 20 ounces of oil, but just pour some in, let it settle, check the dipstick, and go from there. And when it's at the right level, you're ready to go. So there you have it. You change your air filter, change your spark plug, change your oil. You do those 3 things and your lawnmower will run better for longer.